What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your Montreal Milotic, bringing you our draft analysis for the UPBA season number 3. It is our first time in the UPBA, and you guys see a slide that says season 2. That's wrong, just ignore me. I don't know why I put that there. It's incorrect, so it is what it is. If you guys are coming here directly from the draft stream that we just had hosted on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MattOshea, welcome. If you are new to the channel, highly recommend subscribing for more UPBA content, but also for more competitive Pokemon content in general. I guarantee that every single time there's going to be a video here, you're going to learn something new, get better at the game, and enjoy yourself as well. Alright guys, we are going to be here. We had the 6th overall pick for this draft. We have 120 points for a roster of 10 to 12 Pokemon, and I feel like my roster is arguably the best one in the entire league. I really don't see many others that just stand up to in terms of the sheer presence of the powerful Pokemon that we have. And honestly, the combination, the fit that they have together is absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to show you guys this team. Before we do, guys, obviously leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Commenting is the best way to help the YouTube algorithm, so make sure to do that. If you guys don't like the team, leave a dislike. If you like the team, leave a like. Also, shout out to our YouTube channel members, Olivia Sama, Hayes, Eric at level 1. We have Terrence Jordan at level 2, and we have Volt and Sully at level 3. Shout out to those 6 for becoming YouTube channel members, going the extra mile and supporting the channel financially. If you'd like to do that, you can hit the join button. Do that way you get shout outs in all the videos. If you're level 3, you actually get team building session with me, and if you're level 2, you get access to special pre-authorized, what's the word I'm looking for, just exclusive videos. As Julia brings me some breakfast, thank you, babe. So we are doing a lot of stuff on YouTube channel memberships. We are doing a lot of stuff on Twitch, and of course join the Ocean as well. But looking at our first pick with 6th overall, I'm like trying to trade up to number 1. I want Dragapult so badly, but Dragapult is going to go number 1 no matter what. Unfortunately, the person who is going number 1, who has number 1 pick, Gray, has not used Dragapult in a while, so he wants to get Dragapult. So instead we ended up going with another dragon type that I really like and have not used in this generation yet, and that is going to be Zygarde. Zygarde 50% is here and it's absolutely amazing. It is one of the best Pokemon, and I think it was in the NCP, the season I had Zapdos. I was debating Zapdos or Zygarde. We went with Zapdos because Zapdos fit my playstyle a bit better. But this season I decided, you know what? I haven't used Zygarde yet this generation. We're going to give it a try. I'm trying to build a comprehensive list of like the skill I have with all these different Pokemon, so I can give you guys the best definitive top 10 of the best Pokemon in the entire draft league format. Having Zygarde is going to be fantastic. It gives me an amazing electric immunity. Gives me Pokemon that resists a lot of different types, has insane bulk, doesn't need to have its offenses mostly because it has access to the most spammable move in the game, 1000 arrows. Absolutely insane. If your opponent does not have a bug type, a pure bug type that is, or a bug type that has a secondary typing that is not weak to ground, for example, like something that's like bug poison, or a grass type with the same thing, so like something that's grass and poison won't actually be resisting 1000 arrows, then they're out of luck, and Zygarde is going to be absolutely incredible. 95 base speed is fantastic. The bulk it has on this thing is amazing. Yeah, it's only got 100 base attack, but it makes up for it with its incredible setup options. Coil, Dragonance, incredible. It gets Toxic, it gets Glare. Glare being one of the best paralysis moves in the entire game is amazing. Its ability is kind of, well, it leaves a bit to be desired, but it is what it is. And I feel like Zygarde at 18 points was probably the best Pokemon available on the board at pick number 6. And honestly, I just feel really good about this selection for our draft. Moving on though, next mon, I was super thrilled to get this thing. I did not know how it felt to me, and that is going to be Cinderace. Now Cinderace only had 13 points. The reason why I did not know it was going to fall to me, or I didn't feel like it would fall to me, was because specifically it was only worth 13 points. And the reason it's only worth 13 points is because it's Blaze. Now, it does have 119 base speed, and I believe that's the top of the totem pole for us for this season. Yeah, it's our fastest mon on the team this season, which is super nice, but it's a really phenomenal speeds here. We want a title with this thing with our Urshifu Rapid Strike, going a nice Volturn core with this thing and a couple other Pokemon. We can U-turn around, we can core change a lot of hazards. Pyro Ball is an incredibly powerful attack. There are very few switches to this thing, and a lot of the Pokemon that are going to want to take attacks from Cinderace won't want to take them from Cinderace and Zygarde, or their combination. They want to take them from both of them. They want to be like, okay, you know what, I'll try to take hits from both, and they won't be able to take hits from either because they have to deal with so much. And that's why I feel like the combination of Cinderace and Zygarde is absolutely incredible. There just won't be enough on opponents' teams to switch in and take the hits from both of these Pokemon because they cover each other so damn well. Water types that are going to want to take on Zygarde and Cinderace, they're going to have a hard time with dealing with their coverage. Grass types that want to take on Zygarde, deal with Cinderace, not appreciating that at all. I feel this is a phenomenal pairing, and for 13 points, I just couldn't go wrong with it. Our next mon, though, is going to be something that, again, I have not used in this generation. That's going to be Necrozma. Now, Necrozma fell to me at the 3rd pick. That's absolutely incredible. At 16 points, it's amazing. It's one of the best setup sweepers in the entire game, paired with Zygarde. Amazing. Photon Geyser's an incredible move. It gets rocks as well. It gets a lot of different utility options. It won't always be setup, but with Dragon Dance, Calm Mind, Autotomize, Iron Defense, whatever. There's so many different options that you can have with Necrozma. But you can run a defensive set, you can run a set with rocks, you can run so many different options and take advantage of its coverage, its utility with knockoff, Thunder Wave, Toxic, all that stuff, and really be annoying for teams to deal with. It gets reliable recovery. It's a super bulky Psychic type, which I absolutely love to have in this format. It's just right now, our team has basically one type that I feel is really, really important to the Draft League format, and that's Ground. I'm 3 picks in already, using up the majority of our points. We've already used almost 50 points, which is insane. But still, 16 points from Necrozma. Round 3, I know there's some Pokemon that went like round 2 that shouldn't have gone round 2, like Celesteela, for example. But regardless, round 3 Necrozma does not make any sense. This Pokemon is absolutely incredible. It's going to pair really well with our Cinderace and Zygarde. Yes, the speed tier is a little bit wonky. We have a bit of work to do with that to make sure the speed tier kind of works well. It's only at a 79 and Zygarde's at 95. It doesn't fit exactly, but it's pretty damn close. Our next mon, though, I am happy to use this thing. I believe I've used it once before, and it was in Ubers, and I did not do well with it, and that is Thundurus Therian. Now, Thundurus Therian, I have high hopes for, because it's an electric immunity. Yes, it's still weak to ice, but it's another one that is not as, I guess, hurt by ice-type attacks like Zygarde would be. I don't want to switch my Zygarde in on an expected Thunderbolt or Volt Switch and then catch an Ice Beam or something, or an Icy Wind, and lose my Zygarde, or really have it chipped down. Thundurus actually gets reliable, or not reliable recovery, but semi-reliable recovery with the Volt Absorb. So it helps me out a little bit there at least, and it gets also Defog. Just the coverage that it has is incredible. Grass Knot, Sludge Wave, Focus Blast, Flash Cannon, Dark Pulse, Psychic, Electric Attacks is incredible. Knockoff as well, it gets U-Turn and Bolts, which are awesome as well. Defog is great. The setup in Nasty Plot and Agility is beautiful. Tons of utility for this thing. It hits super hard. It's an incredibly powerful special attack, which my team does not have at this point. Yes, Necrozma is pretty strong on the special side, but 145 special attack that Thundurus Therian has is absolutely bonkers. So I feel really good. And again, 16 points. We've used so much of our budget at this point in time. It is incredible, and we're gonna have to really fill our team out with some niche Pokemon to make it work. Regardless, this Pokemon here is important because at this point in time, I end up going and picking up something like Blastoise, and I made quite a few trades. I made, I think it was 3 trades with 2 different people throughout the course of the draft. I did a 2 for 2 and I did a 1 for 1. And the next pick I had ended up being the Blastoise, like I said, which I traded away. And I traded Blastoise with another Pokemon away for Tapu Fini. The first time I'm using Tapu Fini in Generation 8, I'm excited because this Pokemon's typing is absolutely amazing. I cannot believe we got Tapu Fini with this team. Look at our top 5. It's incredible. We could honestly bring our top 5 every single week and then alternate the 6th Mon and have a team that honestly would be favored against pretty much every single person. Having a water type like Fini that is able to be immune to not only just the dragon attacks that are going to come Zygarde's way, but being able to just resist really effectively the ice types attacks that are going to come Zygarde's way. And then on the flip side, Zygarde and Fini pair really well because Fini being weak to electric and weak to poison, you got Zygarde to take the hit. And depending on the grass type, Zygarde's sub may not even be broken by certain grass types Giga Drains, which is insanity as well. I'm super happy with this pairing. It gets Draining Kiss as well. It's a really good Calm Mind sweeper as on top of that too. Draining Kiss, Surf, Ice Beam, gets access to Iron Defense and Store Power as well. Misty Terrain is really huge for Zygarde, for Necrozma as well, to make sure that they can't even deal with, they don't have to deal with any shenanigans like Toxic Spikes if the train's already up, or something like, what's the word I'm looking for? Status like Will-O-Wisp or Toxic or Thunder Wave if they're in terrain as well, which is amazing. I feel having Fini really unlocks a lot of this team and makes it really, really powerful, and a team that is, honestly, if it was Blastoise instead, Blastoise is good, don't get me wrong, it was a good pivot because it gets access to Flip Turn and everything, gets Rapid Spin nonetheless, and Shell Smash, but having Fini's just a whole other beast. It's super strong, 17 points for a reason, is the second most expensive Pokemon on our roster outside of Zygarde, and I just absolutely love it. 40 points to go for 5 to 7 Pokemon. That is quite a bit, but we can definitely get it done. Our next Mon is going to be a Pokemon that I believe I requested in a trade as well. I traded away, I think it was Tapu Bulu for this. The person I traded with wanted Bulu, so it was basically Bulu and Blastoise for Fini and Toxicroak. Now, Toxicroak on this team is amazing because it's a water immunity, but it also gives me a grounded poison type, which my team really needs because I have Tapu Fini. One of the best ways to get around Tapu Fini is to run a Pokemon that uses Toxic Spikes, and you get Toxic Spikes up before Fini comes in, then it won't get Misty Terrain first. It'll be Toxic Spikes first, then Misty Terrain. So it'll be poisoned and that we can cripple the Feeny, which is really useful. Nasty Plot, Swords Dance, Drain Punch, Gung Shot, Sucker Punch, Vacuum Wave, tons of great coverage options with the Toxic Croak, and having the immunity to water is also really good because this is another solid Scald switch-in. My team does not appreciate Scald outside of Feeny and Toxic Croak now, so I feel amazing with this thing. And at the same time, it's another immunity that will get me health back, which is super useful. And at the same time, its speed tier of being 85 is really good. Yes, we have the Tapu Fini, which is also 85, but Tapu Fini will always run max speed or a lot of speed. So we want to have a way where we can kind of pressure the Pokemon that are at that 80-ish range so that they can't run Adamant or something, or that Pokemon are like the 90 range, so they can't run Adamant, expecting like a modest Necrozma or a defensive Necrozma. Now they have to expect potentially an offensive Toxicroak or an offensive Feeny, and that makes it really tough because that range of Pokemon in terms of speed is really scary. Think of Pokemon like the Mammal Swines all the way up to Pokemon like, what's Pokemon in the 90s? That's pretty threatening. I can't even think right now. I'm blanking off the top of my head. I'm gonna try and find a Pokemon that's around 90 base speed that's pretty damn solid in terms of its offenses. Let's take a look. I'm going down on Showdown. Something like I can't find it. Something like a Ho-Oh, which is 90 base speed, but you know what I mean. Like Porygon Z, Lucario, Roserade, the Moltres, those are really good Pokemon around 90 base speed that are pretty damn strong and can be causing problems. Crocodiles, Landorus, for example, they can't run Adam Nature comfortably anymore at all when dealing with my team. Next up, though, another trade. We traded away, I think this one here was Darmanitan. I traded away regular Darmanitan for this. I reached out to this person and said, hey, listen, like, are you attached to this Pokemon? They're like, no, not really. I said, hey, well, look, I feel like this Pokemon could really benefit you. It's the same tier, the same pricing. Would you be interested in talking about that? And I said, yeah, sure, we'll make a discussion. And I offered them, I think it was Arcanine, but then they said, no, I want Darmanitan instead. So we ended up trading for Zarude. Oh boy, Zarude on this team is amazing. It gives me my Dark type. No, it does not get knockoff, and that does suck. We do have quite a few knockoff users right now, though. We have Feeny, I guess, knockoff, I believe. I think Toxicroak gets it as well, and then Thundurus and Necrozma definitely do get it on top of that, which is beautiful. Yeah, it doesn't get knockoff, but it gets U-turn. It gets momentum, it gets recovery, it gets the psychic immunity, it's a ground resist. It's just a phenomenal Pokemon all around. It gives me a speed tier at base 105, which is super, super useful for my team. Look at it right now. I have a speed tier right now, 101 all the way up to 119. 105 cuts that. It's perfect because 105, there's nothing in between 105 and 119 that's going to be able to run Adamant or Modest against my team because I have Zarude now, which is amazing. I definitely felt like having Zarude was probably the best case scenario for my team in terms of trading for it. If we did not make trades, we would have been set. Our team would have been good, but not incredible. And I think our team right now is just over the top compared to a lot of the other teams in the league. And it's because we were able to make the trades mid-draft and then make them official post-draft. And obviously, there's a bit of a risk in case the person decides to say, no, I'm going to back out on the trade after the fact. But regardless, we crushed it with the trades. We absolutely crushed it. Zarude, Power Whip, U-turn, Darkest Lariat, Acrobatics, Bulk Up, Jungle Healing, and even Synthesis as well. It's just a really solid Pokemon. Can be good defensively too if your opponent doesn't have a Bug type or a really strong Fire or Fighting type, basically. I think that Zarude has the bulk, the speed, the power to be an absolute powerhouse in the format for us. And the fact that it's not being asked to carry a load like on a lot of other teams, especially when it was first released, is going to be an absolutely huge benefit for it. Our next mon, though, I am super happy to get this. I really need to have another ground type. I also need to have, like, when I say ground type, I want to have another ground type that just wouldn't drop to ice, okay? So I decided to get another ground type here, but I also don't have a steel type. And unfortunately, it means my steel type won't resist ice because I'm going to go with Steelix here as I get back to my OBS. There we go, Steelix. So the reason I went with Steelix is because it gives me rocks, but it also gives me a steel type that I didn't have prior to this. It gives me a really solid defensive check. It's not passive at all because it's really strong, especially with sheer force. Yes, Sturdy might be the better option most times, but it does get Roar, it does get Dragon Tail, which are very nice. It gets set up in Dragon Dance. Its Gyro Ball is insanely powerful, Heavy Slam as well. There's so many things that Steelix can do, so it won't be passive and setup fodder for a lot of different things. And I believe I actually won a title with this as well, like 2-3 years ago, and it was in Gen 6, I believe. Maybe Gen 6, maybe Gen 7. It was Gen 7, because we used Z moves, that's for sure. I definitely had Tapu Fini on the team as well. And I think just having Steelix as an option to be able to take some poison attacks, take the ice attacks that Zygarde won't want to take, and maybe take multiple of them is really nice. And it gets rocks as well. That's the big thing, because right now my only rocker is the Necrozma. I have Necrozma, I have Steelix, and those are my only two rockers for the entirety of the season. I didn't draft another rocker, and that sucked. But hey, it is what it is. Steelix gives me a speed tier of 30, which is a pretty big jump because I go 30, I then go a speed tier that you're going to see after this, and then I go all the way up to 79. So my speed tiers from the lower side are pretty poor, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers, and at this point, to round my team off the best, Steelix was the best option left on the board. I'm thrilled with it. Just the utility that it has and the fact that it gives us rocks is absolutely incredible for us and really valuable for the success of this team. Our next mon, though, is going to be a Pokemon I want to use for a while. It is going to be Frostlass. I like Frostlass because it gives me spikes. I want to use spikes more. My teams typically pivot around a lot, and they force people into problematic situations. So if I'm able to move around to the point where my opponents can't really just get into a good matchup, they have to keep taking spikes damage. And even one spike plays a role. It's 12%. That adds up. It's one round of rocks to a Pokemon that's neutral to rock. That's good damage. It also gives me an immunity to fighting. Ice is a really good offensive typing too. Its speed tier 110 is phenomenal as well. Triple Axle is great. Poltergeist is amazing. Will-O-Wisp, I believe it's Thunder Wave 2. It's got good utility for a team, and don't sleep on an offensive set because it can be very, very scary. And I believe it also gets Trickaroo, Taunt, and Trick. I said Trickaroo, Switcheroo, Taunt, and Trick are all very useful. And for the point total at 7 points, just what it provided me in terms of utility, hazards is very, very useful. It'll likely end up being like the 5th or 6th mon on most teams, but it's still absolutely incredible how good this Pokemon is. And I feel like it just might be one of the sleeper Pokemon for my season this year, which is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to use Frostlass in action and see what it does for the team that we have, because with Feeny, Zygarde, Necrozma, Thundurus, Cinderace, Zarude, we're forcing switches, we're causing problems, and Frostlass just getting up a spike, getting up 2 spikes is going to be absolutely game-changing for us. Our final mon. We are the only team in the league, I believe, with 10 Pokemon. I don't think any other team has it. But our final mon is going to be type Null here. We needed a normal type. We needed an answer for ghost types. I did not want to have Zarude being my only answer. And yes, we have Feeny, which is bulky as hell. Yes, we have Steelix. Yes, we have Zarude. But type Null does not die. Eviolite with battle armor, you can't crit this thing. You can't. It's as bulky as Silvally is, and bulkier because of the Eviolite. The only problem is it has lower speed. Its coverage isn't as good, obviously, but I use Silvally very, very well, and my favorite Silvally to use is a normal type Silvally. So I don't mind going with like a Flame Charge set on this. Swords Dance is a thing. You can go Rest Talk with U-Turn and whatever coverage move you want. I think that type Null is absolutely phenomenal, and for the tiering, the price that we had, 6 points, it gave me exactly what I needed. More momentum, more recovery, I guess, if you want to call it that, more pivoting options that my team needs, and a ghost immunity. I am thrilled with this Pokemon. The fact that it got to us is amazing. I don't feel like I really got sniped much this draft at all, and that feels really good. We had this draft finish up over 2 weeks ago, and honestly, every time I look at this team, I'm like, wow, how did I draft such a good team? But it's a team that's very different than what I'm usually used to. Zygarde, Feeny, Necrozma, they don't get momentum. Those are my top 3 Pokemon in terms of points, and they don't get momentum, which I usually build my teams around. So I have to make sure that I end up being more in a... I have to make sure I'm in a better situation with this team than in other situations. Because if I was with another team that I had, for example, I would be able to easily just say, you know what, you turn around a bunch of times, Volt Switch, Flip Turn, whatever, do all these things to get into a good situation. Now it's like, if I make one mistake, I can be severely punished if Zygarde, Feeny, or Necrozma get put into a bad spot. So I have to be very careful with that. But guys, that's the team builder. We've been going on for long enough, about 20 minutes almost. So if you guys enjoy the team builder, if you guys like the team, if you guys think it's a good team, make sure to leave a like on the video. Comment your thoughts on the team down below. Again, like I said, comments are the best way to help the channel grow. I really appreciate every single one of them, and I answer to all of them as well. If you guys want to see more, you can check out the coaches that are in the UPBA with us. The links are down in the description as well. The draft stream VOD is available on my Twitch, twitch.tv/MattOshea. Follow us on Twitter as well. Check us out on Discord at the Ocean. It's linked in the description as well. Ton of fun over there. And without further ado, guys, we are going to be having our first battle go up this Friday against Sven Thune. And Sven and his Stockholm City Kinglers, who was going by a different name, the Uppsala Umbreons, are the team that I believe knocked us out of the IBL in one season where we had an amazing run. So we gotta get some revenge. But guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you guys next time.